You were the first to audition for In Living Color, correct?
I was the first to get the part.
Wow.
To get the part. My audition didn't go too well.
Yeah, I heard you bombed.
I
heard you
based
bombed.
that. You're right. I based that on the look in their face when I was done.
Right.
Because I was going out the room and they was like, "Hey man, see you around, man." Hey.
So what did they ask you to do? So you going in for an audition on Living Color?
Right. I thought I didn't know what improv was.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to try to improv. Right. So they asked me crazy questions like, "You're a drunk Puerto Rican cab driver,
right,
trying to talk to your customers,
right?
You know, hijo, if you're going to go downtown, I don't go downtown. You know, and I did all these things quick, and it was over.
Right.
That was the audition. I didn't get no feedback, and it was over. The reason why I got it, because I was so strong in stand-up. I was so strong in stand-up. I had that football principle.
Right.
You know, repetition, 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 repetition. And then stuff starts becoming like an instinct.
Right.
So I was 30th that night out of 30 of the hottest comics in the business.
Okay.
Leguizamo, Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx, everybody wanted the show.
Right.
And there I was, right? 30th. Okay? And as I'm on the sidewalk, because I never watched other comedians,
right,
you know what I mean? I just kind of did my own thing. And my manager kept coming out and going, "You can't do this bit because somebody did that one," right? And then they come out again and say, "You can't do that bit because such and such did that one." So my show was getting a little bit shorter.
Shorter.
As I go. But I was confident in what I had because we always worked. We worked on comedy with a discipline. My manager had a stopwatch. I know how much 2 minutes is, 6 minutes is, an hour, 46 minutes, 2 minutes. You know, just by running through my stuff, and I knew my stuff really, really well.
Right.
I hated it. I hated it that he'd take me out to the pool and make me work on my stand-up when no one's around and get the time in, but I'm glad he did.
Did you know that you were about to be part of history?
Nah, not at all. I knew that the real thing about the whole thing was I actually was about to go home. You know, I'd had enough of Hollywood, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here. I kicked ass for 3 years in the clubs.
Okay.
I had a job back home. I had a Celica GT, a 78 that I got from my mother's credit union.
Okay.
And I still had my B210. I had an apartment.
Right.
You know, with wall-to-wall carpet and a cat. You know, and plenty of roaches though. I mean,
right,
I ain't mind. You just take the hamper and shake it out in the street every couple of months. You know what I mean? They love wicker, by the way. So I'm, you know, I came out here and I was catching the bus.
Right.
You couldn't catch me on the bus alive, boy, because we used to go to do laundry on the bus.
Yeah.
Groceries on the bus.
Yeah.
Life was the bus, and we lived in the winter too.
Yeah.
So I'm on the bus, 3 a day. Okay, right. I'm working up till 1 in the morning, and I'm up at like 5, right? Mm-hmm. Because once I get off around 3-ish or something like that, I start at the clubs, and we hit every club until no one was open no more.
Right.
And they were saying to me for 3 years, and I was turning it out. They were saying, "You're not what we're looking for. You're not what we're looking for."
So what were they looking for?
Well, it looked like all the white comics weren't getting that comment, and they weren't getting standing ovations.
Right.
So I surmised that it was that, you know. Mm-hmm. And some things to me are like societal rules that are in between the rules.
Right.
Like I used to be late to school. My sister looks like Cindy Brady. Okay.
Okay.
All right. My brother looked like David Cassidy. I mean, y'all gotta be old.
Yeah.
All right. But I'd go to school late and she'd go to school late, and the punishment for that was you have to sign up for detention.
Right.
She used to be able to go straight to class, and I had to sign up for detention. So here come my mother again. I used to think she was crazy. She came, sat down with the principal, who was black. She said, "Okay, so what is the problem here?" And he was going, "What's going on, Miss Davidson? What's going on?" She said, "Why does my daughter get to go to class and my son have to sign up for detention?" And they said, "Well, we didn't know that was your daughter, man." She said, "Why does that make any difference?" You know? Mm-hmm. And he said, we'll get that straight, but my mother does this, man. She said, "You're coming with me today." And I was like, oh man, here come one of these speeches. She took me to the park. She sat me on a picnic bench, me and her. She would talk to me. She said, I need you to know something about the world you live in, okay? It's gonna bother you, but it's a fact. She said, your sister can actually be late, but you can't. If you wanna be successful in this world, you can't be late at all. It's just the way it works, you know? And I hated that.
Right.
I wanted to cry, but she was right. So I thought it was that rule.
Right.
I just connected to that, but I kept going. And I started getting more and more. I won at the Comedy Store because finally I got a shot in the main room.
Right.
Okay, this is the big night. Pryor's there and Richard's there and everybody plays that room, you know, and I got a call from the Comedy Store. And they said, you're in the main room tonight. And I was like, oh, okay, who am I hosting for? Right. You're like, who am I bringing on? I'm emceeing. They was like, no, you're on the show.
Wow.
I was like, what? Okay, so then who am I hosting for? They said, no, you got 30 minutes. I said, I got 30 minutes, never got that.
Right.
30 minutes, but I could do an hour.
Right.
Right? 30 minutes? Who else is on the show? They told me, Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, it's just y'all three.
Wow.
Okay?
Ooh, it's pressure.
Richard's
Tommy.
on first, it's two shows a night, Friday and Saturday. Eddie goes on first, the first show Friday, and Pryor goes second, and it's flip-flop for the other.
Right.
Right? And then the very next night, it was the same thing. And how did I do?
How did you do?
Francis Asbury Tarkington dropped back and hit his receivers for 80 yards in the third quarter. But then Larry Zonka gave the Purple People Eater indigestion as he used his helmet as a batter ram. Bang! Okay? I'm an old NFL film.
I see.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was like the interception with
John Facenda.
Yeah, the interception with
Willie Davis.
Yeah, baby. That's what it was because it was time.
Right.
It was my time.
How was it? You mentioned you got Jim Carrey, who's not Jim Carrey yet.
Right.
You got Jamie Foxx, who's not Jamie Foxx yet. You mentioned John Leguizamo. I mean, there's so many. You got the Wayans, who were. How was it? How did the egos mesh? How did you divvy up time? How did you determine who's going to do this skit, who's going to be with that person, who's going to be with this person?
Kind of like when you was with TD and McCaffrey and them.
Yeah.
And they had another running back I like. He's coach now, Tony Anthony.
Anthony Lynn.
Yeah, just kind of how you felt. You know, you got to play your game no matter what.
Play your
but
role.
You want the ball though.
Yeah.
You want the ball.
But if you're having success, everybody's going to.
Right.
There's enough of the pie to go around.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, when we got on that platform, everything counted. And Keenan was smart. He knew how to get the best out of us.
Right.
He made us work against each other, not in a negative way.
Right.
But if it's not funny, it won't make the show. Period. You got to work with the writers yourself. Wow. And write your own sketches.
Right.
You got to present your characters to us, everybody, to the writers, to the producers, to the actors. You got to present it to everybody.
Right.
You got to be funny in that room, and that goes on the show.
Did you?
Okay, next.
Did you guys ever work together? Did you say, okay, Jamie, hey, check this out. What do you think about this, this, and this? Or did you get with Jim Carrey and say, Jim, what do you think about this? David Allen Greer was also on that show. So did you guys get together and says, okay, I think we'll be great if we do this?
Yeah, but that happened with everybody in Living Color. That's why it was special. Because we did it with the cameramen. We did it with the makeup women. We did it with the wardrobe people. Everybody had a feedback.
Okay.
So when we were in rehearsal,
right,
we were all giving each other, no, don't do that, don't do that, man. Remember you said the chicken before. Right. You said don't say that, don't say a pelican or a duck, man. Say the chicken. Didn't the chicken work, y'all?
Right.
So we're all in it together.
Right.
We're all in it together. But that one sketch that you're the lead of, that's your sketch.
Right.
So the more you were seen, what? You know what I mean?
Right. The more laughs you got, the more opportunities you're going to get for the next episode to be up in more skits.
Exactly. It's like, Who told me this? Lonzo Highsmith. You know Lonzo?
Yeah, I do know High.
Right. High told me, I said, you can probably play right now, couldn't you? Well, I could probably play right now. I could probably play maybe a quarter. He said, but I ain't got another training camp in me.
Right.
It's like that. He's like, do right, do right, do right, do right. People on your shoulder, the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's what it was.
But how do you make it funny a second and third time? Because like normally, like save that for the show. Don't leave that on the cutting room floor. Right. So how if somebody's heard it? Because normally something's only funny once.
Right, right.
So how do you and then make sure?
Yeah. I think Keenan did that and he created a monster. Mm-hmm. So he said, y'all get one take. You know, the rest of it's yours. Don't never tell us that. We improv'd everything from that first take.
Oh, okay.
We had a competition going under the radar.
Right.
What can I say that you haven't heard before that's gonna make you laugh right in the middle of the sketch? And we was doing that constantly. So if you watch the show,
right.
Jim Carrey could be going, I just a fire and fire what and did that. Do that again. Hold on. He caught a quick one-hander. He did a quick out. You see that? Yeah. And you be over there going, because I'm playing this serious guy named Benny, and he's supposed to be in my mansion. You know what I mean? But Jim Carrey, when he gets hit by the sutures, by the emergency squad, he doesn't just go down.
Right.
Like, he's supposed to go down on the floor, you know, and then get up and say his line. Benny, I'm a fire marshal. Well, when he goes down, he goes. I'm a fire marshal. Okay? Now the director is saying, cut, stop it, Jim. Stop that. We don't have time. We can't be, I lost my cell on them. We don't have time. You know, we got to get to the next thing we're doing.
Right.
Take two. And action. Okay? 8 times. And I'm in tears.
Right.
My eyes are swole. Jim, you can't do it again. He said, I ain't got to. That's how we were. We got so bad because Keenan said, y'all can bust loose. He got to the point where he was coming back to us in the back and going, damn, I got winded by that, didn't I? Let me breathe for a second, man. He came back to the back and would say to us, you guys, we're going to lose the show. We're going to lose the show. If y'all keep doing that, we're going to lose the show. I can't keep these censors off of you. I can't. You guys got to help me, man.
Right.
And he'd leave the room and we were like, yeah, right.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? Because that's why it was special.
Right.
People got the real thing.
When you found out, why do you think the show was canceled?
I can only imagine. Because Keenan's the one that knows. But I just think that we weren't utilizing the whole cast.
Right.
You know, we at a point we only utilized
Jim and
certain players, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it didn't take away from the talent of the group. But that's what made the team.
Right.
You know? So, you know, it was the thing that made In Living Color the best was you didn't know what you were going to see because there were so many different variations.
Right.
So they started seeing it in repetition. And I think what they asked, and this is only me being there and watching and trying to be objective, they started asking for new episodes. Like, you got to give us something new.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or we're going to run reruns. And so he didn't feel too good about that. That's his show anyway.
Right.
If I were him, I'd say, I don't know if you're going to tell me what to do with my show.
Right.
You know what I mean? His job probably hard enough trying to get everybody in there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then deal with us on the. I mean, we were hard.
Right.
We were really hard, but we just wouldn't stop.
Right.
You know, and so I think that's what happened, but I don't really know because I wasn't there.
You were in
that
the meeting
with Foxx. You know, I wasn't there. Pep, you know Pep, Dante.
Dante Coleman?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Dante ends up leaving Minnesota. All the players are like, hey, he was my best friend. We used to have an orphanage together. There was, you know, I got introduced to the NFL years ago. You know, I got an NFL thing, and he ended up leaving.
Right.
And they said, well, what happened? He said, man, I went and talked to the owner, and that was that. He shared with some other people.
Right.
You know, the inside of whatever happened.
Right.
But you're not really going to know unless you were there. There wasn't podcast then.
Right.
Where you can get, and once it's over, you can talk freely and not have to worry about, you know, the good old boy network busting you down or none of that.
Right.
You know, you can talk freely, but you have to keep something to yourself then.
Right.
You know?
How much of what you guys did then would you be able to get away with now?
We probably be on the air for about we probably be on the air for about 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Because we just gonna go for it.
Right.
Yeah, we gonna be canceled.
Right.
You know, by culture, the cancel
culture.
Yeah, as soon as we you're living cancel culture.
Right.
You float on the moon like a balloon. Just cancel culture.
Right.
You know. Never too late and it's never too soon. Take it to me, it's all right to be canceled. Okay?
Yeah.
But in truth, it shouldn't happen to us. Why? Because how you gonna do a culture cancel of us? How are you gonna cancel culture? We are culture.
Right.
How do you cancel something you are?
Right.
We're everything that you are, right?
Right.
We emphasize on gays. We emphasize on Mexicans, Asians, whites. We're a societal show that shows each and every aspect of the humor and the love that our country has that binds us.
Right.
You see what I mean? And that's what made us really, really good. There was really no division on the show.
Right.
It was all black and white.
Right.
You know? Black people, if you ask them in a consensus what their favorite shows are, they'll probably put Andy Griffith first. Lucy.
Right.
Beverly Hillbillies. I can go on to Bionic Man.
Right.
You know, it ain't just Good Times, and you can ask white people.
Yeah.
What was your favorite show? They probably put what's the one? We're moving on up, move.
Jefferson.
They put that first.
Right.
They put the Jefferson first. They put Good Time first. You know, we all always laughed at the same things.
Right.
If we didn't, Al Jolson would have never had a career.
Right.
You know, way back then, that's how everybody talked.
Right.
It was an accepted thing with blackface. You see? And that's how that's how we got to that stage in culture. Was because them boys came home from Vietnam, right? We got busing. Women got their lib going.
Right.
You know, Mexicans got their rights. You know, the farm pickers and that whole thing. It was just this whole culture thing that happened in the 70s where it was cool and hip. It was actually hip to know other people's culture.
Right.
It actually was cool when you held hands with people and you said the word love.
Right.
And peace. Love and peace were in style.
Right.
Right? The big old peace sign and right on, brother. You see that coming from both the hippies and us.
Right.
You see?
Right.
So we got to that point, right? And so this was an outgrowth of that, where we were doing, you know, we did Lucy, but we did it our style.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
We did the Honeymooners. We did we did parodies of everything that we saw when we were kids.
Right.
And everything that we saw in our Hollywood adult life, movies. Three Champs and a Baby. You know, me and Jamie used to do that. Those two bodyguards.
Right.
Right. So I go, you ain't Tupac. And he go, man, yeah, you ain't Tupac. Because if you Tupac, you be coming in here like Dre. Right?
Right.
Well, that was actually from Rain Man.
Right.
The sketch was called Main Man. So it's just a black version of Rain Man.
Right.
So we were just a reflection of what culture really is.
Right.
And didn't it change everything?
It did.
Nothing's been the same.
Right.
Right? The corporations went to the bank, right? In the billions by now, right? Gatorade, Nike, PlayStation, went to the moon, right? The sneaker boom went, we were hip hop.
Right.
Before hip hop got corporate. So we launched that revolution, and then we launched the revolution out in the suburbs where they're all white kids, a few black ones, right? Then we launched a revolution in the inner city schools because those kids couldn't believe they were having that.
Right.
And they were seeing themselves in roles. You see? So they probably could try to cancel culture us if we came out, but I don't think it would be nothing pretty.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's not what we were about.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So if we can't talk about nothing, we might as well talk about nothing until it's all right to talk about something. You know what I mean?
Do you feel Keenan gets the credit he deserves? That family and what he in living color, you had to see it. You had to. I mean, back then you recorded it, or you found a way to get home, but you had to see what you guys were going to do. Does he get the credit that he deserves?
No, and even I give him credit that I didn't really realize until after the show.
Right.
I didn't know how much of a genius he was when it comes to comedy. I didn't know his people skills were so, amazing. Okay? He, as a producer, he was an unbelievable writer. He's an unbelievable director. He'd already directed 2 movies, 3 movies.
Right.
To do that show. His family make you jealous. Because when they see each other, even the guys kiss each other on the cheek when they see each other. I'm like, damn, I couldn't have a family like that. You know?
Right.
It's like, hey, brother, hey, mwah, mwah, and they hug.
Right.
For a minute, you got, what is this family? You know what I mean? So they had love too.
Right.
You know?
Right.
He's out of New York City, so he got a street sense, you know, but went to college, got a book sense, but he got his own sense, got good sense. His mom and his daddy, hardworking.
Right.
You see? But it's his genius. I'll give you an example. We were doing, he asked me, you know, we had to come up with stuff because it wouldn't get on the show, so we had to say we knew something. So he said, Tommy, sitting there, everybody looking through this group, Tommy, do you have a Michael Jackson sketch? I said, yep. And then my mom was like, you ain't got no damn Michael Jackson. What you gonna do? You done told him yes, now I'm gonna do it. He said, I want it tomorrow. I said, cool. I ran upstairs, I grabbed the writer, man. Me and the writer wrote the song out, wrote the sketch out. I called the guy who does all the music.
Right.
I went right from the job to his house. We stayed up until 6 in the morning and recorded that thing. He recorded it, put it together. We took it in. That afternoon, we put that sketch on his feet, you know, with all the stuff,
Right.
cameras and everything, you know, because Keenan had heard the song. He said, let's do it. And set up all the other production stuff. So we're in there. I'm singing the song and walking through, and then stop, do this part, stop, do this part, and we do all this stuff, right? We're running plays, right?
Right.
Just to get it in your, you know, so
Right.
after this first snap, you ain't gotta,
Right.
it's in you, right? So this is when Keenan comes in. Keenan comes in when all that's done, and Keenan just goes, do this, do that. So Keenan comes over, he goes, okay, Tommy, when you're walking down the sidewalk, from here to here, don't just walk. Anybody got any chalk? We're gonna put a hopscotch there for you. So you hopscotch from there to here, okay? So then when you go down the rest of the sidewalk, you're gonna get to here, right? This is the edge of the sidewalk. So do we have a fan? One of those big giant fans? Yes, we do. I'm gonna have a bunch of leaves and wind just blow you back, okay? When you go to hit the car window, don't just hit the car window, go, you know what I mean? And then he came up with that last line. You know, he said, you know, am I black or white? And Keenan said, you're under arrest. The police says, you're under arrest. And then I look at the camera and go, well, I guess I am black.
Right.
He just tops it off.
Right.
He just tops it off. You knew somebody like that who don't get credit, Shannon.
Right.
Y'all wasn't supposed to win nothing.
Right. Yeah.
All y'all played Regal football. All y'all were just like any other team.
Right.
But he was able to find a way
To make it work.
to get y'all working together and for y'all to buy into your roles.
Right.
And look what happened.
Right.
Twice. I saw in that Atlanta game, right? Atlanta came down twice. Bap, bap, bap. They going for the third one. All right, we coming in this first quarter, right? So they ran a play, and Romanowski blitzed and just missed him by an inch. Somebody on the sideline must have said, do it again.
Right.
Because they came and did it again. You know, Rome got him. Bam, and it changed the emotion on the sideline. You ain't look back because that momentum.
Right.
That momentum came
Right.
back. You know, it's kind of like the same science.
The writers on the show, how much credit does the writers get? Because you said a lot of what you did was between you and the writers. But and so you guys have to be in sync. It's just like Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire.
Yep.
she had the hardest job because she had to do what he was doing backwards, but she had to do it in heels.
Right.
So they're writing this.
That's a pretty good observation, man.
You know, so how difficult was it their job? Because they've got to write according to you.
Right.
Because what might be good for you might not be good for Jamie or David Allen Greer or Jim Carrey or John Leguizamo. So how was that? And you're writing with different guys all the time. It's not the same writer every single week.
Right. It's got to be a personal process. You know, the best writers know all that. And so they'll do their own homework.
Okay.
You know, they'll go, oh, Tommy, I didn't write this, but how would you say that? You know?
Right.
Would you say that like that? Because I'm thinking if you said it this way, then that would be the opposite of how you would say it.
Right.
So, you know, and I'll say, well, let's try them both when we go to the rehearsal.
Right.
If one don't work, I'll do the other one. They were there every inch of the way. When they stopped something, one of the writers would come in and go, don't forget that you did that about the purple bunny, man. You can't forget that. Come on, man, it's killing. Like that.
Right.
And so they were involved in it, and I'll give you their credits. Okay? Friends, Martin. How many shows are they responsible for? They actually were they are actually the executive producers of the hottest and best shows that lasted the longest in Hollywood. Our writers.
Wow.
And we had a veritable a difference in every writer. We had Franklin Ajay. We had black writers, white writers, Jewish writers, Spanish writers. We had all kind of writers.
Right.
Okay. And they were all, and a lot of them were really, really smart kids.
Right.
They went to college and with degrees, and this is the thing. So they're bringing a lot of intelligence to the sketches.
Right.
You know what I mean? They can match the intelligence, the natural intelligence of us.
Right.
With what we had to deal with this country. We got to be real brilliant. Because we was like, well, we can't do nothing, but we got to do something.
Right.
And we get that something done, you know?
They look at it and people say, well, there was a lot of nepotism going on because he had his brothers in, he had his sisters in. And I heard Marlon say it's like, F nepotism. He says, I'm doing this, and if I can't put my family on, what the hell am I doing it for?
And it's true. And he's right about it. But let's just say the receiver in the game is your brother.
Right.
All right? And it's 25 on the clock, you know? You got about 2 passes that's going to him, and he'll drop everything from game on back.
Right.
Who you going to? Just because? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We're on the field and we're playing the game.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
It wasn't like they weren't doing their job and they were still getting roles. They were performing.
Right, but they got a chance to play.
Right.
There's a lot of people that were with JUCO and should have been in the league and you know it.
Right.
But it's a game. It's bigger than just the actual activity.
Right.
So once I saw that and realized that, if you're on the other end of it, and it doesn't feel so good because you want to be a part of it.
Right.
With me personally, I just wanted to be a part of the family.
Right.
You know, and I am.
Right.
And I am. The first thing his father said to me, his father loved me. His whole family loved me. I got a movie. I was the first one to get a big movie, Strictly Business.
Right.
With Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people were easy with that. And I was kind of like, man. But when I went to the premiere, it was me and Halle in the limousine, and we drive up, and we get out, and the rope is there, and all the people are there, and guess who's there? His father. And his father go, Tommy Davidson, baby.
He's proud of you like he's a father.
Yeah.
Like you're his son.
Yeah, and Keenan treated me like he was one of his brothers. You know, I'm going through trouble or whatever, he'll say, hey, man, you got to get that right. You know?
Right.
You work too hard.
Right.
I froze up on my first sketch on In Living Color.
Right.
Right? So, because I realized I was on TV. So I'm ready, and I'm this comic that came from DC, and I'm ready to do this sketch, right? And I saw the red dot on the camera, and I was like, it turned into like a skull, right? And then I'm there. You know, and they go, Tommy. And then finally, Damon walked over to me. He put his arm around me, man. He said, nigga, you work way too hard to get here. You over in that apartment with your baby. You know, I watch you in them clubs. All you gotta do is do it. You know? You know, and that's how they are. So it's a half a dozen to one. You know, it's a tough process because you want to win the game.
Right.
Right? But the way that the game is played, you know, I don't care how you slice it. It's team.
Right.
And roles. You know, you don't get that stuff. I remember Denny Green when when the Vikings were packed. They had Chris, they had Moss, they had Robert. Remember Robert Smith? They had every Jordan at T. They had that defense. They had everything. Pep. They had it all. They were the machine, and they lost in the first round of Phoenix. You remember that? And so they were broken because that was their year, right? They should have been in Atlanta, right? I guess so, right? I guess they'd have been playing y'all.
Yeah, they lost to the Falcons in the championship game.
Yeah, and that
was Randall Cunningham.
Right, and that hurt me because I'm a Minnesota fan.
Right.
Long story. So
how you gonna be that fan? You had just came and did our Super Bowl party.
Hey man,
what kind of bull job is that?
Hey man,
you done came and did our food, ate our food, got our money.
Hey, I'm a player. Pay me. That was Neil Smith.
I know.
Yeah, Neil was like, that's my man.
Yeah.
And that's when I discovered, I learned through the players what the game really is.
Right.
It's a freaking war, man. It ain't no joke.